Hello again to another Agricolor Reacts, and today we will be watching what happens if you eat mold from Animalogic. And let's just jump into it and see, because obviously everyone knows eating mold is not that great, but then you have mold in some of the cheeses, and it's kind of
They can be
confusing.
dusty, slimy, and downright disgusting, with a stench that's unmistakable. They can make your food inedible, your basement unlivable, but they might also save your life. We're talking about everything you ever needed to know about mold. Maybe some stuff you didn't need to know, too. Hey, I'm Tasha the Amazon, and you're watching Floralogic. Let's get down and dirty with funky fungi called mold. The first festering question is, how the heck is mold a fungus? Some fungi grow into mushrooms, while others are single-celled microfungi like yeasts. In the case of molds, these fungi are multicellular microorganisms, so they're more closely related to portobellos, but just very, very tiny and simple. Molds are made up of mycelium and fruiting bodies of certain fungi. Mycelium are the root-like structures of fungus that are made up of thread-like hyphae. The fruiting body is a structure that's specialized in producing spores for reproduction. They come in almost every color.
I mean, the actual close-up stuff too, it's quite pretty, I think.
Blue, white, red, orange, yellow, pink, brown, green, and even the dreaded black. True to their fungus roots, if you zoom in, molds look like teeny tiny little microscopic mushrooms. Zoom back out, and you'll recognize the hyphae from the fuzzy appearance of that moldy orange on your counter, and the spores from the cloud that comes off of it when you toss it in the compost bin. The spores that mold releases really get around. They can travel a number of ways, by air, water, or carried by insects and animals. That's why mold can be found pretty much anywhere on the planet, both indoors and outdoors. Once the spores find an ideal environment like moist, shady areas, they'll set up shop and start multiplying. Most molds prefer decomposing materials. For this reason, molds are an extremely important part of nature's recycling process, breaking down plant and animal matter so those resources can be used elsewhere. But mold doesn't discriminate, as long as the conditions are right. It can grow pretty much anywhere with moisture, oxygen, and some organic material to consume. The usual types of mold that are found inside are from the genera Cladosporium, Aspergillus, Alternaria, and Penicillium, to name a few. They can be good, neutral, or evil in terms of their effects on humans and human endeavors. Let's break down these 4 genera. Cladosporium, containing over 700 species that we know about, are among the most common species of mold in the world. They're almost completely harmless to humans, though some can cause allergies and asthma. They usually grow on rotting organic material, but can grow inside your refrigerator, causing food spoilage and discoloration. Cladosporium molds often present themselves as brown, green, or even black. But this isn't the toxic black mold you're thinking about. We'll get to that one in a minute. On the helpful side of the mold spectrum, we have the species of the Penicillium genus. These molds are responsible for some of the most popular soft and stinky cheeses, like brie, camembert, gorgonzola, and roquefort. The genus name also gives away the fact that life-saving penicillin is derived from one species, Penicillium chrysogenum, which was previously known as Penicillium notatum. Today, penicillin is a staple antibiotic, but before it was discovered by accident in 1928, people died regularly from all kinds of basic infections. Penicillin works by targeting bacterial cell walls. It disables an enzyme needed to strengthen the walls. The bacteria keeps growing, but without a sturdy wall to support it, eventually swells up, ruptures, and dies. Among Alternaria mold species are some major plant pathogens that have the power to decimate entire crops with black rot. If you've ever seen a squishy brown spot on an apple, an Alternaria species is probably to blame. And yes, one bad apple will certainly spoil the whole bunch, at least when it comes to Alternaria mold, which spreads quickly from fruit to fruit. The greatly feared species known as black mold is Stachybotrys chartarum, and it's had a bit of a PR problem. This mold has been vilified as toxic, but it turns out it's not actually as deadly as it's made out to be. Black mold loves cellulose, aka fibers from plants, so it makes itself cozy in paper, wood, and drywall. Sure, it'll cause sneezing, coughing, congestion, and eye irritation, and make asthma symptoms worse, but this species isn't actually any more dangerous than other types of mold. and it probably won't kill you. When it comes to Aspergillus molds, some can be helpful and some can be extremely harmful. One species causes the disease aspergillosis, which can cause mild to severe illness in people with weakened immune systems. Other species, namely the koji molds, have been used in East Asia for thousands of years in fermentation to create products like soy sauce and sake. Yet other species, Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus, which grow on crops in warm and humid regions of the world, produce dangerous toxic chemicals known as aflatoxins. Aflatoxins can make people and animals very ill. They're the best known and most researched fungal toxin, and are known to cause nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and convulsions if ingested. Chronic exposure causes liver damage and cancer.
So, that's interesting to learn that the famous black mold is not as dangerous as it's being made out. I know this is only one video saying this, but I'm guessing they're kind of more knowledgeable about it than, let's say, some home decorators out there saying, oh, there's a black mold, you have to move out from here, or tear down all the wall and stuff like that. So yeah, what I can say about mold? Like I said, like cheeses, that's mold as well. This type of fungus, that's what they said. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I have nothing else to add. Now I have to sneeze. Excuse me. So, I shall be cutting this up. Oh my god. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm gonna just oh, never mind. I was sneezing so long that basically the ad is almost gone. That's the one. Think fast, move faster. Defeat! No! Mission reward's gone! Ooh. What's the second out though? Oh my god, such a waste. I hate when people are cutting so much off the vegetables and stuff. Like seriously people, don't do that. That's just the bare minimum. You don't have to carve so much. You don't have to carve an inch of carrot from each side, each end, I mean. Seriously. This is one of my pet peeves. I really don't like when people wasting food like that. I'm not saying I'm not a waster myself from time to time, but it's usually just because, let's say, I put the food away, a little bit of leftovers or something like that, and they're gonna get shoved in the back of the fridge, and eventually they're just like, they're not looking good. Yeah, they sometimes have mold too, because they're just like behind some big jar or something like that, so you can't see. Anyway, we're gonna be learning more about mold now, and yeah. So this one seems like the very toxic one. It's actually coming from food, so we'll see what that's saying.
Fact,
the title says what happens if you eat it.
Considered to be one of the most carcinogenic substances in the world. These aflatoxins come from molds that grow mostly on crops like corn, rice, millet, wheat, peanuts, cottonseed, and tree nuts. To reduce your risk of exposure, it makes sense to buy products from major commercial producers, and to ditch any nuts that seem shriveled, moldy, or discolored. One of the most burning questions about mold is it safe to just cut the moldy part off your food and eat the rest? The simple answer is no, not really. By the time the mold is visible on the surface, it means that it's likely already been infested throughout with the mold's invisible root-like mycelium. In the case of dangerous molds, that means that mycotoxins may be present even if the part you're eating looks okay to the naked eye. If you do accidentally ingest something moldy, you don't have to panic though. You're probably just going to be fine. Just monitor yourself for the rest of the day, and if you experience any severe symptoms, like shortness of breath or a fever, seek medical attention right away. From trying to kill you to being used to make life-saving medicine, molds are an unending source of intrigue. With an estimated 300,000 species worldwide, we may never fully comprehend everything molds are capable of. What we do know for sure is that mold is always going to spoil your lunch.
True.
So, what should we talk about next? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for new episodes every single week. Thanks for watching. See ya!
That was kind of cool, quick, comprehensive, interesting. And she's very kind of like a nice person, seems like, anyway. So yeah. So mold. What can I say about mold? I guess there's a lot to say about it. Not from... Obviously I have some experience with mold as well. And fungus. Actual fungus. But what can I say? So yeah, so the black feared mold is not as dangerous as it is. Eating stuff, cutting off the pieces of food that's molded from food, it's not a good idea. So yeah, and yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I see you tomorrow. Bye!